Boom. That's right. King Kong 2026 is in the books. Guys, I had a great time. Today's video, we're going to check out my haul. I got a couple signed books, I got some great variants, and I have officially received my first two original art commissions or sketches of the year of 2026 so far. For a jam piece of Batman Rogue Villains, I cannot wait to show you what I got and the story behind it, which I think is cool. Um, and yeah, we're gonna get in the hall. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go take a look at some footage. Me driving up there, and we're gonna take a look around the con and see what was the going on the walls. Definitely some interesting things. And then we'll get back and we will check out the hall.
I mean, honestly, I'm very scared of the sound wave shockwave. Oh, you shoot that video or? It's a promo, so they have like all the characters on. I like it. I saw it. Oh, really? Okay. I think I grabbed the snack. That one is 600. A lot of work. You probably have to like drill it out or something. Did you become the comic shows? I submitted He's one of those guys that and you know what? Their turnaround times are a little bit faster than what they have advertised. So yeah, I think they still have their Yeah, Harbaugh number one. I have a few. I have
Welcome back, guys. So yeah, it was a nice con. Uh, First of all, let me just put it like this: King Kong is one of my favorite shows. I look forward to every year. Immediately the day after, I always cannot wait for the next year for King Kong to happen. The show gets better and better every year, in my opinion. This year, we actually had a few new sellers as well, which is always nice because even though you get to see some guys once a year that may be from upstate or downstate, you may not see at local conventions all the time. Some newer faces are always welcome and newer inventory as well. And for the first time this year, they actually had more Pokemon collectors as well, Pokemon cards, if you would, for people, which I think was a welcome addition too. I'm not a Pokemon guy. I was when I was a kid. I'm not anymore, but I think some people showed up for that, and some of us I do know not only collect comics but also dip into cards, whether it be Pokemon, World of Warcraft or all that other stuff. So yeah, I thought it was another great show that Greg put on. I mean, it was just so much fun, and it's always great. Like I said, not even just hunting for books, but to chat with everybody. And for instance, Three Men in a Basement. Shout out to them. I love those guys. They were there, set up. Otto was finally back. I think he's missed the last couple of years, but it was great seeing them. I get to see them here at King Kong. I get to see them pretty much at Terrificon, and that's it. But it is great to see some of our collecting friends, and some of them couldn't make it this time. But hey, I'll get to see them later this year. But that is completely fine with me. For the amount of value, well, let me put it like this: I think tickets were $5 to $8 if you got the early bird special. When they announced tickets, and I think it was $10 at the door, which is pretty good in my opinion. I got in technically for free. I have a vendor pass. I was set up with my boy 360 Comics Joe, who I just my second year in a row now that I've helped him set up. Pope of Town was with us as well, but we were there helping set up, and I still think it was just like an awesome event, great time. Even just sitting and chatting at the booth, talking to people about comics, especially whether it's a younger generation or the older generation of collectors. It's always fun. So yeah, enough rambling on. We're gonna get into the haul. Signed books is some variants that I've been wanting for a while, and my first two sketch commissions of the year. I'm excited to show that off at the end of the video. So stay tuned for that. And before we get in, do me a favor, hit that like button and please subscribe if you haven't already. It helps out the channel greatly and I would appreciate it. Follow me also on Josh's Comics 01 on Instagram. I'm very active on there as well. And yeah, let's jump into it. Speaking of Three Men in a Basement, they had the nice little booth set up, and you know what? They have books, not always particularly books I want, but I can find something in there and for good prices too. And I thought this was a great pickup for $10. This is Supergirl Special Number One foil edition from Will Jack. Yeah, I couldn't pass that up for $10. Definitely getting that. Hopefully, Will Jack will be at a future con later this year that I'm going to, whether it be Terrificon, Baltimore. We'll have to see whether we get the sign. But yeah, not passing that one off for $10. Now we're gonna go into the sign books. So they had three artists there, and they actually had a fourth guest appearance for an artist. She is well known. However, I always butcher her name, so I'm gonna do my best to say her name, and hopefully I get it right. I had a couple books that get signed by her. Um, Souza McKimmey, probably mispronounced that wrong. Now, what's funny is I actually went in with two different books. The one book I did get signed, the other I didn't, and I opted out to get this signed because she did this great Batman and Deadpool number one variant edition with Catwoman and I believe Emma Frost. You can see her signature there. And I also got this great Supergirl issue number 7 variant from her as well. So that is very cool. She has done some of the Catwoman variants that I want to get, and I did meet her at Baltimore last year. So she was actually a bit of a surprise. I think the last week before the con happened, they announced she was going to show up. It was just kind of happened, so that was cool. So great of Greg to pull that off and have that happen. And hey, who knows? Maybe next year we'll have like Adam Hughes. Maybe. Well, I doubt it, but still, it was great to have her show up and get some signings. These next two books I was found from a vendor. I don't remember everybody's names off the top of my head, but they had some great exclusives. I pulled up this first book and it was only $5, and I said, "Why not?" It's an artist I like, and it's a character I like, and she's drawn beautifully. This is Avengers No Road Home Variant Edition, issue number 1 from Mark Brooks. Yeah, I was fine with paying $5 for that all day long. Again, would love to meet Mark someday. I don't know if he does many East Coast cons out here, but hopefully. I do got a few other books I like to get signed by him, but I would love to get this signed. Yeah, he draws. Yeah, he drew Wanda so good on there. Speaking of Wanda, this is a good one too. Marvel's issue number 13, 25th anniversary edition in tribute. Yeah, look at that. So the Virgin variant is technically the more pricey one, but this is still good. I think this is 15, and Annie Givana, if I pronounce his name right, did the variant of this is the 25th anniversary tribute cover. Um, Wanda looks great. I wish, you know what, it's cool to have Vision on there, but it would have been great just to have Wanda in the pose by herself. But still, I will take it. Something that I've been looking forward for a little bit, especially for Wanda covers. So that was pretty cool to pick up. These next, I think 5 books all in, I paid like $50 for, and they had like $2 stuff, $3 stuff, $10 stuff, and prices marked. These books are all $10 a pop, and I thought it was a pretty good deal, honestly. Working on my Daredevil 1 through 100, and surprisingly, I was able to knock out quite a few issues at the show. Daredevil issue number 51. Kind of like the old style Daredevil mask. Some of the older Spider-Man do this too with his mask, so I think that was pretty cool. Daredevil issue number 92. And this is a little bit of a key. So this is the first appearance of Damian Darn, the Indestructible Man, but it's also the first time that it's retitled to Daredevil and the Black Widow. And then after this, it would go from issue 92 to 108, where it would be retitled back to Daredevil. And which is very interesting is that Daredevil and Black Widow had a relationship in the comics. If you also read some of the Bendis run, you find out about that as well. They kind of revisit that a little bit and play off of that. But Marvel, in the cinematic universe, has not mentioned anything yet. Maybe could we potentially see Leona's, oh man, could we see Black Widow's sister potentially have a relationship with Matt Murdock? Maybe Matt. I don't think that man's blind because he pulls off some incredibly beautiful women in the Marvel universe. How he does it, I don't know. But yeah. So this next book, this is a good one, and it's not considered a key, but I think it's good enough to be one of the pricier books. And it's only like a $3 or $4 book. I mean, if you get it in like New Mint, obviously going to be close to the price point of $10. But Harley Quinn issue number 17 by Terry Donson, and look at Ivy. She is drawn so good, and Bizarro Superman is man, he's gripping her up, and I can understand his facial expression in here. It'll probably be mine too. I kind of look similar to him a little bit. Okay, not bad, but still a great pickup. Terry Donson covers, man, especially the younger Harley Quinn issues are just top notch. Um, Second to last book, actually. Gotham City Sirens issue number 20. Gulliman March cover, and this is a good one. Like, this is a bit underrated. There's another Joker cover a couple issues later. I think it's 24 possibly. That he has two guns and everything, but still at the same time, some of these Gotham City Siren issues are really only known for the covers, and are nice with a pretty price point on them, honestly. And some of them do have keys, but like key appearances and stuff. But so yeah, great pickup. I already have a copy, if not two copies of this. I picked it up because I mean the condition it's in, and for $10, man, I was like, yeah, like you normally find that 15, 20. So I was like, I'm gonna take that. And my last book I got, look, working on the sketch cover game. This is a surprise in there, and I'm surprised like this book I did do a little bit of early hunting before the doors open up. I didn't check up everybody's booth, and I decided to wait for the crowd to die down. So this book was passed on for a few hours. And this is Young Avengers issue number 1, the sketch variant. I'm thinking I'm probably gonna do a Kate Bishop commission. That's what I'm thinking. Maybe do a Kate Bishop, Miss Marvel, maybe something going on. I know Miss Marvel's not part of the Young Avengers, but still, you can always do a little bit something different. We'll see. But I think a Kate Bishop cover is definitely going to be coming in the future, so why not? Um, and then I took some books with me that I wanted to do trading for. Uh, the slams I didn't make a deal on. I just it wasn't really worth it to me. But I had a few raw books. I had a 609 First Thomas Elliot, which was in the near mint range, but like mid near mint. Um, I had a Thor #1 variant cover from Jason Aaron's run, which had a little bit of value in it. And I had two other books. Damn, I can't remember what they were. But essentially, I at the end of the show said to my good friend Joe, I said, "Hey, I'm looking to trade these for some credit, trade them for books." And we talked about it, and we came down to about he asked me what I wanted in trade value, and I said about $60. I thought it was a good thing. He's thinking more like 50, and I said, I tell you what, do what he does, meet me in the middle at 55, we're both happy. He's like, "Yeah, you got it." So I got some books off of him that I traded. Um, hey, guess what? More Daredevil, issue number 49 of Daredevil. And this is actually a bit of a nice key. This is the first appearance of Star Saxon, who later becomes Mr. Fear, and then I think he becomes another character down the line. But knocking out the Daredevil one, man. Another book. Daredevil 87. I'm not sure. I may already have a copy of this, but still, for $10, I couldn't pass it up. And if I have an extra copy, I can move it or trade it for another thing. So great Daredevil cover on there. And it's great to see a lot of like Spider-Man villains, rogues show up in Daredevil. Especially how Kingpin like is introduced in Spider-Man and then would later become more of a Daredevil villain than anything. But of course they shared. So, and then the last book I got out of the $55 trade, book Joe actually had since last year sometime, and I don't know why I didn't cheat on it, but Batman Beyond issue #1, 2022 New York Comic Con exclusive reprint of Batman Beyond #1 from 1999. Uh, Gabriel Del variant. I love this thing. Yeah. And there are quite a few modern variants for Batman Beyond #1. There's also the sketch cover that I picked up last year. Yeah, no, yeah, it would have been last year. I need to get that working on that sketch cover. But yeah, so that was a great pickup. There's actually two other variants. I think there's a 1500 exclusive and a 2500 exclusive. Each one being a version with different colors in them. So I thought that was pretty cool. So before we get on to the last couple of books, shout out to Brian Slick Jolly, who came up. He's become a great friend on the channel, and my birthday was in February 11th, and he came over to the booth. We're all saying hi. He's like, "Hey man, I got a birthday present for you." I'm like, "Okay." Here I'm thinking maybe he's got a book for me to get signed or something, and he pulls out this book. And my jaw dropped because I was not expecting it. And this book, I mean, you can definitely tell it's got a little wear on it, but I do think this book has some decent value in it. So I'm like, whoa. And so the story, from what I understand from Brian, was that he bought a copy and the person sent him two. So he got a free one and decided to give me it for my birthday. And this is just like crazy to think about. This is Batman the Animated Series. Almost got him. And this is technically the first appearance of Harley Quinn, or published appearance of Harley Quinn in comics. Now you can see from like the side, there's some wear and tear, but I'm not worried about that, guys. This is a book. I'm gonna take this out. I'm gonna look at this real quick. This is insane, man. I want to see where she's at in this book. So, just to note that it's supposed to come with the cassette tape, that you follow along while reading it. because I don't think it's a regular comic. Like I don't think you have any pages to read. You just follow. Oh no, you can. Okay, so no, it is. Oh, so that's great. That reminds me of Batman who almost got him. That's so awesome. Let's see where we can find Harley in here. Yeah, so this is I mean, shout out to Brian, man. This is I was not expecting this. This is really just oh, there she is. Look at that. That's great. This is so awesome, man, to have this. And then there she is, another page of Joker. I'm assuming will she show up again? Yeah, there's a partial shot of her. Yeah. So okay, you can see her, Catwoman. I love Batman the animated series, guys. Like this is so great. Yeah, so this is really great. Okay, yeah. So she's like in this thing like yeah, she's in here. Um so yeah, just to be sure, like I said, I'm gonna look this up real quick. Um Forgive me. I know some of you guys may not like people going on their phone on Key Collector and looking stuff up, but this is truly amazing, man. Something that like I said, I was not expecting to happen. A book that I mean, honestly, I don't know if I would ever own. So yeah, first published appearance of Harley Quinn in a children's book called Almost Got Him, packaged with the audio cassette. Um, so that is pretty cool. Like I said, I mean, this isn't like high value, but this is something that's gonna stay in the PC and um something that's really cool. And of course, Batman Adventures 12 is her first appearance in a standard comic, but yeah, Brian, man, I'm gonna have to try to figure something out for you. Um, See what we can do because this is, like I said, this is a great gift. And like I said, I was blown away by that. That was a highlight. That was definitely a highlight of the convention. And like I said, this is great about the community is it brings us together and you make great friends. So this other vendor was set up next to Joe. Now the Catwoman and Emma Frost book I got for $10 from him, and I think this is like $5, not mistaken. And I got this because this is just a great cover. This is Poison Ivy number 25, the Brian Boland variant. I was like, yeah, I'll take that. Now, will I ever meet Brian? Um, I don't know. I don't think he's ever in the States for a con anymore. He's always, abroad, across the pond, I guess, as you would say. So maybe one day I do have some books. But Brian's, between Judge Shred, I think a lot of his Wonder Woman covers are very underrated, honestly, as well. So we'll see. Now, we're going to move on to the grand finale, guys. If you have watched this far, do me a favor, hit that like button and please subscribe. We're going to get into the sketch cover. Um, I have a Batman Detective Comics 1000 blank scratch cover. And I made a post on Instagram asking my followers, would you like to see a Batman Rogues jam piece or would you like to see a Batman Allies jam piece? And the Rogues won pretty, and it wasn't even close. It wasn't like, you know, 60-40. It was more like 70 something and 20 something or 30 something. It was almost a blowout. Like the Rogues won pretty high. So it's like, okay, I'm gonna do a Rogues jam piece. And either way, I could do another Batman Allies jam piece in the future. But I want to say over a year ago, my friend Broke Boy Comics, Noah, he got me into sketch covers. He got me hooked up on get my first ever sketch cover at Terrificon last year. So shout out to him. And so he was doing this idea where he's doing a jam piece of rogue villains himself. He's doing headshots. And I thought that was very cool. And what he essentially does is he goes up to an artist and he just says, "Hey, surprise me. Pick whatever Batman villain you would like to draw." So you don't have it, you're not going to tell him who to draw. You just say any rogue and they draw up. So I went up. I did 2 artists at the show. It is. I gotta like hide the first one. Okay, boom. So the first artist was Ryan Brown, and I went up to him about 9:30 for the con open, and I said, "Hey, you probably wonder why I'm holding like this because I'm trying to cover up the other." Uh, fuck it. Let's just do both. So I went up to Ryan. And I said, "Hey, can you do a stamp piece for me? I'm gonna get probably about 4." So he kind of made the design where he made a little box cut out um, for the other artists. And I said, listen, you draw any Batman rogue you want with color. It could be anybody you want. Your choice. Surprise me. Come back about an hour and a half later. He drew Clayface. I mean, look at that. That's insane. And like he was happy, very happy that I came up and said that. And he was surprised. He's like, a lot of people usually don't ask to do whatever they want. They pretty much whenever he gets commissioned, somebody says, "Yeah, I want this certain character in a certain pose, doing certain things, etc., etc." And he was very happy that I asked him to draw whoever he would like to draw. So he knocked it out of the park with Clayface. And then Jonathan you Uriba, if I pronounce his name right. Same thing. After I got done, he had a lot of commissions, and they were only really doing head sketches, guys, because it's a 1 day con. It was from 10 to 4, so they're giving about an hour or so a piece for each sketch, and these guys are killing it. And Jonathan, same thing. I told him the story about Noah, and he remembered him, and I said, "Look, pick any Batman rogue you want. Surprise me. I'll be back." And wrapped it off about. I think I picked up from Ryan about 10:30, so about 10:45 ish. Around 11, I dropped this off because his line was long. Go back. He said, "Yeah, come back about 2 o'clock." I said, "Okay," because he had a bunch of submissions in front of me. I came back at 2 o'clock. I'm like, "Are you ready?" He's like, "I'm ready." He showed me the sketch cover, man. My jaw dropped. Look at that Joker. Like, and he was drawing. He had another cover he was working on at the time too of Joker. So I think he's knocking him out. I think he's well requested for Jokers maybe. But yeah. Oh my God. So this leaves me with a bit of an issue because I got one spot up here, cool. I get an artist to do one piece up here, but down here might be a bit hard because this Batman 80 years logo is sitting in there. So I'm gonna have to find an artist that's okay with tackling a little bit more of a limited space, and maybe they can incorporate that somehow. But essentially, like I said, I'm gonna have 2 other artists draw on the 2 other open spaces on here. Free reign. Please do whatever Batman rogue you want. I just request that it's not not already the same character that's on the cover. That's all. And then what I'm gonna do is on the back, which I probably don't even need to take out and show you guys because you guys probably would know this already. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna set it up. I'm gonna do 4 characters on the back, and then what we can do is I can either send this in and get a slab, and you can still see it all the way around, or I just put in a top loader or something. But yeah, we will have I don't know, well, because the logo down here, well, yeah, I mean, if I get a good artist to do it, they could still do it 4 ways, or maybe not have exactly like the color block the way it is, but we'll do something pretty cool. Um, yeah, man, this is so cool. I love this thing. And again, shout out to Noah, man, who really got me into the sketch cover game and has put me down that hole of doing this now. And like I said, I got a few other books that I want to get throughout the year. We'll have to see. But guys, almost got him was definitely a big highlight, but this may be the biggest highlight. First commissions of 2026 are here, and it is a great time. So overall, before we end this video, King Kong 2026, better show every time. Highly recommend it. Great vendors. I do think we didn't talk about it too much earlier in the video, but walls were pretty much, you know, a lot of people had Silver Age, modern keys, covers, some golden age stuff. One vendor actually had more indie books than anything, doing those odd end stuff for the people who like that. So there's a little bit of everything there for everybody. And I will say that Absolute Batman was there quite a bit. A lot, good few of the vendors had the books. Some of them had the slabs, and some of them had them all, and had some of the bigger issues. I actually saw a Batman um annual, I think it was. I don't Yeah, I think it was the annual with the Supremus for only like 10-15 bucks. I probably should have grabbed it depending if it was near mint. And then I saw the Arkham issue where it's the introduction of the Arkham Asylum Absolute. So maybe lucked out. Should have picked up some books, but guys, overall, it is a great con. Please, please try to make it next year if you can. Even if you have to drive, it took me an hour and 40 minutes to get there. I'm from Delaware. This is upstate in Islay, New Jersey, um, right below Newark. I recommend it. I actually know there's a YouTuber on here who took the train from Washington D.C. to come to this event. I mean, this is a good show, and you got people driving 3 or 4 hours from upstate to come down, probably up south, and of course, out west. So, if you guys can make it, I recommend the drive. I think it's well worth it. Again, shout out to Greg and everybody involved in making this a great con. You guys rock. King Kong 2026 in the books. I cannot wait for 2027. Like I said, I look forward to the show until the beginning of next year when it starts. And in my opinion, King Kong is what kicks off con season. We do have a few smaller shows in the area, but for bigger Comic Cons, for us here on the East Coast, I think King Kong kicks off season. And from here, Baltimore, you got Terrific Con, Super Jersey, which unfortunately has been postponed to next year, but they will be doing an event in August as well. So, but yeah, we're gonna do a whole lot of damage this year, I think, to the wallet, guys. So, but anyway, enough rambling on. I hope you enjoyed this video. My first real big haul of the year. Some great variants, signed books, and of course, my two first commissions of the year. I can't wait to see what else I pick up later for commissions in the year too. So until next time, guys, stay safe, take care of each other, and as always, we will see you in the next episode of Josh's Comics.